Hello friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. I am Jenny and today we're going to have a little fun. We are up here at the entrance to the nursery. You can see the sign behind me. We are going to plant that flower bed with several things. Some perennials, some annuals, even a tree, lots of fun things. And we are going to plant some beautiful Avovulus, the Blew My Mind XL, underneath our mailbox. We were here, gosh, probably a month ago or so when I was planting the aquapot, and I was giving you kind of an update on this flower bed behind me, and there was a couple of areas that I had questions about for you sweet folks, and you were of great assistance to me. So I want to give you an update on this bed before we plant, show you the plants that we're going to put in here, and show you the suggestions that I took from you and that we are going to implement. Here you can see behind me, this is, of course, it's a nice, really good sized bed. Obviously, there is the drive into the nursery. What I had been asking you about this last video was right here on the corner, I had some perennial grasses and they just were doing terrible. A lot of great suggestions from folks. This is what I have decided to go with. We are going to put a Let's Dance Ariba hydrangea pretty much right where it is. It is going to be a nice petite hydrangea, so it's not going to get bigger than the rock. You will see the rock most definitely. It is a reblooming hydrangea. It does really well here in the south. It is color specific. It is pink right now, clearly. Nice, huge, gorgeous mott pit. I mean, like, this is my hand, and you can see what a nice size bloom this is. Once it gets in the ground and is here for a little while, it will turn that blue purple that you see here on the tag because we are acidic, so it will turn that blue purple. Fantastic. Little tip for you. I do not trim my reblooming hydrangeas until they are flushed out because I want to know if we have a nice healthy leaf stem like this, or if this one is dead. So I will go ahead, this is not going to produce growth. The hydrangea is completely fleshed out, so I will go ahead and trim that back. So Ariba is going to go right here next to the black pearls, which is going to be beautiful. And then for a fun accent ground cover, this is a perennial. This is a Juga. This is part of the Feathered Friends series. This is Tropical Toucan, and a Juga is wonderful because it is an evergreen. Basically, it can pretty much do sun or shade. Gorgeous color. It'll look fantastic underneath those black pearls and really, really low maintenance. You can see right here that the Ajuga was starting to spread, and it will send out roots, if you can see that. So it's really drought tolerant once it's established. I'll clean this up a little bit. But it's going to spread, but it's not going to be an invasive, kind of a crazy spreader here. Fill in this little corner. It'll be fantastic. It'll help things from washing when we get gully washers, and it will do great. Now, moving on down here, we've got things that are in bloom. You can see the black pearls are just sending out their little shoots of flowers. Really pretty. These are the caladiums that we are going to use. This is a gorgeous sun-tolerant caladium because in this spot I really need a little bit of help where it can be both a little bit of shade but also a little bit of sun. So this is Bottle Rocket, and Bottle Rocket is of course a fancy caladium, so it's that more sun-tolerant, beautiful foliage on it though, but it's the white, the red, a little bit of pink, green edging, fantastic. We'll fill that in. As the plant matures, you'll get different shades on it. So you can see some of the leaves are really dark, some of them are really white. I love that variation in the plant. We're also going to use the brand new Surefire begonia. This will be coming out onto the market next year. This is the Surefire, let me get it right here. Surefire Cherry Cordial. So Cherry Cordial, along with the other Surefires, are wonderful because they are sun to shade, either one. Nice tall presence, low maintenance, but it has that beautiful dark foliage on it and those gorgeous red blooms. So that's going to go more towards the back because you can see my hostas. Aren't they beautiful? Even my Rhododendron has finished blooming, but we have got four Sum and Substance back there, and then the Elegans is the blue one that's in the center. So this cherry cordial is really going to pop off of those hostas, be fantastic. My astilbes are getting ready to pop out in bloom. This is, I believe this is Milk and Honey. So it's a really pretty white bloom. Look how huge those plants are. Are they not like massive? Oh my gosh, fantastic. And then the tree that we are going to plant is a Japanese maple. Somebody on one of the videos on YouTube, I believe it was, suggested we plant a Japanese maple in here. And I just was like, you know what? That is genius. So she is gonna go, it is going to go just a little bit over to the left of where the root ball is. This is a weeping Japanese maple. It will have nice, deep purple leaves on it, really kind of that fine filigree leaf on it, if you can see that. This is going to be a more of a petite one, but as far as a Japanese maple goes, it is a fast grower. So you can see all that gorgeous color on it, and this is a, let me show you the tag here. I looked up the pronunciation. I'm gonna do my best here, folks. Tamukiyama. I think that's how you say it. Great, it'll be really nice, weeping, beautiful, nice presence, and you can see that it'll just fill in this space quite lovely. You can see that the Japanese maple will be just a beautiful complement to the loropetalums that are below the sign. And then can you see that the hydrangeas are blooming? So back here behind the sign, we have an Alice oak leaf hydrangea. She just was planted here not that long ago, you know, relatively speaking, blooming, nice new growth on her, doing really well. Look at the size of this leaf. So oak leaves will get big, that's my hand for comparison, huge. They will get nice and big, do really pretty creamy white blooms on them. It's best not to prune oak leaf hydrangeas at all, so that's why she's perfect here, because she can just get as big as she wants to, and then of course in the fall it will do absolutely gorgeous foliage on it. So all that foliage will turn beautiful red. And then my Annabelles are doing quite well. They, I think I told you last time I thought I had killed them, but no, they're doing great and doing wonderful. They have loads of blooms on them, and just look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So nice. And there's clumps of 3. They're kind of spreading. That's all right. They can fill in this little area right here, doing really nicely. And then the strawberry sundae is a panicle, so it is not blooming yet. So without further ado, we are going to go ahead and start planting. I'm going to hit the mailbox first, get the avobulus in there. I brought up 2 flats, so I have 20 of them. I want to fill it in because it just holds it really nicely, keeps the weeds out. The more plants you put in, the less room there is for weeds. So that's a little trick. If you can jam pack them in there, that's what we're going to do. So we're going to do that because the sun will hit that spot first. It is going to be a really toasty day today. So I want to get in and out of here before the sun really hits. So we'll do that, and then we will move over here to this bed and get these plants planted. Okay, my friends, the Blew My Mind XL is now planted and is doing really well. You will see it here on the flower bed, and you will notice I've had some questions here lately about how I plant my annuals. I personally do not use biotone when I am planting my annuals. I use the Proven Winners time release fertilizer when I plant. It does not matter if you put it directly in the hole or if you sprinkle it around. Today I put it in the hole. Sometimes I will sprinkle around the plant. It does not matter. It says either way is perfectly fine on the Proven Winners container, but you can see that the Blew My Mind XL, just a beautiful blue flower. It will spread by very soon. This whole bed will be completely covered in a mat of this evolvulus. It's fantastic. Again, so just the Proven Winners time release, no biotone, and I did not use Land and Sea because this bed is nice and rich. It does not need that compost. You will see behind me though that I do have my biotone bag because I do use biotone always with my perennials, trees, and shrubs. Those just need that extra help because I'm trying to get them to go the long distance. Annuals are pretty tough. You know, if you take care of them, plant them at the right time, you plant the correct plant in the correct spot, you use that time release fertilizer in there, then they do great. So over here, I went ahead and did set out everything where it is going to go. So you can see that I've got 5 of the ajugas placed around the Let's Dance Arriba. And so that is where it will go. Arriba gets 2 to 3 feet wide. And so even if at its maturity, it's brushing up against the rock, not a problem. I love that the ajuga is that bright lime green against the black pearl euchera, doing really well. And then you will see here we have the caladiums and the begonias. I decided this year I'm keeping it simple because this is a high visibility area. You see it from a distance. When you use less plants in mass, right? So my number of plants that I'm only using 2 different kinds of plants, but I'm using tons of each plant. It makes a big impact from a distance. I love how this looks. It is going to be gorgeous. So that is all filled in right there. And then of course the tree is back there where it will get planted. So without further ado, I am going to go ahead and just set the camera up. There's a lot of holes to aug, but using that power planter, auger, and drill, man, makes this big job a little bit easier because I'm working solo today. So everybody is going to get auged in. The perennials, shrubs, and trees will get biotone. The caladiums and the begonias will only get that Proven Winners time release fertilizer. I just scoot the mulch back, plant them, put the mulch back where it belongs. This is just a nice hardwood mulch, and there you go. All right, friends, so I have got all of the caladiums planted. I've got the surefires planted, the hydrangea, the ajugas, they are all planted. While the sun is out, I wanted to show you kind of the sun situation here at this flower bed. When we first started this morning, of course, the mailbox was in shade. Now you can see that it is in full sun, and it will continue to get full sun as the day goes on. Now, the trees are showing the shade on the driveway, on the road. It will continue to creep the sun towards this flower bed. right here on the edge where the ajugas are, the eucheras, because those black pearls can do sun or shade, and the caladiums, that will be in the sun. A little bit of the surefires will be in the sun. Clearly, the hostas are doing great because they receive more shade. So that is where this bed is really funny because of the amount of sun and shade that it does get. None of this is on irrigation, so it is, all the plants were nice and well watered when I put them in. We had tons of rain last week, so the ground is nice and damp. They are doing great. Everybody is in there nice and happy. Nice pop of color from those caladiums, the brightness. Once the surefires begin to get bigger, they will really contrast very nicely off of those eucheras. And let me show you an example here, y'all, of just real life gardening. I have 2 eucheras. This is lemon love, the exact same plant. Clearly, lemon love in the back is loving life. Fantastic. It's massive. It is easily 2 feet across. Less than 2 feet away, I have another lemon love planted at the exact same time in the exact same fashion, and we would be lucky if it's 10 inches across. Y'all, that's gardening. You know, you can have the exact same plant in relatively the exact same location and they respond 2 different ways. So we're going to see if a little bit comes back here. Now, what I am on to now is planting the Japanese maple. You can see it right here. I have got my hole dug and I have the biotone already placed in this hole. This is a B&B tree. So what that means, B&B is ball and burlap. It is not in a container. It was dug directly out of the ground. These came from Oregon. They wrapped burlap around them and they were shipped to us across the country. And we've had them for, it's been a good little while now that we've had them. We have had them kind of what you call heeled in with mulch, surrounded by the mulch. And if you ever wondered if roots will grow through burlap, here you go. So these are the roots of the Japanese maple coming through the burlap. So don't worry and think that you have to remove all this burlap in order for the roots to grow. Now, and am I going to remove some of this burlap? Absolutely. So let me show you exactly how I'm going to plant this tree. Okay, so hopefully I'm in the camera angle here. What we're going to do is I just simply placed it in the hole. B&Bs are fantastic. They are, there's perks and minuses, of course, of buying a B&B versus a containerized plant. So when you plant it, you do have to plant it differently. It is wrapped up and held together by the baling twine. So clearly we need to get all of this off, right? So the baling twine is going to come out of here because we do not want that to be wrapped around our tree. So we're going to get that off as best we can. Let's see. If you cut it enough, it should, well, I don't want to move my tree. There we go. Get everybody in there. There we go. Now we're cooking. Let's see. There's one more down here. Because with the B&B, the root system is not as far as intact as if it were in a container, right? In a container, it's growing within the confines of the container. With the B&B, as you saw, it's growing, the roots are growing out of the burlap. So it's a little bit more tender as far as that goes with your root system. Some of the burlaps, they're wrapped differently. Different nurseries will wrap them in different fashions. So here you go. So we have it all laid out. There is twine that is wrapped around this, root ball right here. I am not taking that off. I want to leave that on because the roots will grow through it. It is a natural substance. It is not an issue. I would probably do more harm by taking off this one thing of baling twine than just leaving it on there. Now, I am going to come through and get all of this excess burlap off because it's not doing anything as far as right now for the tree. If I were to try to take all of the burlap off, again, I'm disturbing more of the root system and I'm doing more harm than good. Completely natural, porous material The roots are already growing through it. Water will go through it. It's fine. Leave it on there. Cut off what you can. Leave what you can't. Clearly, the nursery in Oregon had some red soil too. There we go. Okay. Now I do more harm than good by trying to put it over its head. So I'm gonna cut some here. There we go. All right, so now plant it like you normally would any other plant. Bring back your native soil. Again, you can see how rich this soil is. We have amended this and amended this and amended this, and I am not adding land and sea. I am just bringing back this native soil back in there. Make sure that you go around and that there's no air pockets. You want soil to be touching soil. No little empty pockets of air, because roots can't grow that way. So bring it back. Notice I am not going to put soil on top of this root ball. The root ball, it needs to breathe. So we're going to leave it and let it breathe. I will, for this one, I will come back with a bucket of water and give it a nice drink. You can see that my mulch is a little sparse here. So once we get our mulch back, we're currently out of mulch. Once we get mulch back, I will come and add a nice thick layer around it, because that helps retain moisture since this is not on irrigation. So voila, there you go. That's how you plant this lovely Japanese maple that is a B&B. All right, my friends, today's work is done. Woo, it has been a morning. The humidity and the dew point here in North Carolina is cranking. So Jenny's a little sweaty, ready to go in and get a nice, tall, cold drink of water. Everything's done, everything's planted. Let me give you a quick little overview of the whole thing all together so that you can see exactly what is going on. So of course, mailbox with the sunshine ligustrums that I pruned earlier this spring, late winter. The Blew My Mind XL Ovobulus is down there. It will get huge. By the end of the summer, you will not see, it'll just be one huge carpet of color. It will be gorgeous. Then coming on the other side of the road, we've got, of course, that Ajuga is planted with the Let's Dance Arriba is in. She is blooming. She will eventually turn a blue purple because we have acidic soil. The caladiums are in, Bottle Rocket, along with the new introduction for next year, the Surefire Cordial Cherry Begonia. It will get nice and full again. You will not see any empty space in this spot because of the way I planted them. They will fill in, get nice and big. We have got the Japanese maple back there. I'm not sure how much she is showing up on the camera right now, but again, coming out, we've got the 3 of the Florida Sunshine Elysium. So there's a 1, a 2, and a 3, along with in here in the front is the Lemon Love and the Southern Substance. Really nice, bright lime colors, so that this Japanese maple, when it's nice and bigger, will really pop in this space. The Annabelle hydrangeas are blooming back there. And then I was going to give you an update on the aqua pot. You can see that it is in full sun now. So when you're looking at your sun conditions, it's the total amount of sun does it get, right? So remember, shade is 4 hours or less. Full sun is 6 hours or more. Really happy with how this is turning out. It is doing well. I have not water soluble fertilized this yet. This is the joy of being on an aqua pot. We have filled it up one time. Everything else has been because of the rain. The Lime Time Coleus is doing great. So is the Sun Patience Compact Purple. And then the Silver Bullet Artemisia is just doing really well. Very happy with how this is turning out. So this whole space is really turning out to be such a beautiful area. So, of course, we will keep you updated on this space as the season goes on. I'm gonna go here into the shade because it's a little toasty in the sun. We will keep you updated as the season goes on. Of course, if you don't follow us on social media as far as like Instagram, Facebook, that kind of thing, I really encourage you to do that because I post a lot of pictures there. So you can just look for Creekside Nursery Inc. and you will find us on Instagram and Facebook, of course. And lots of pictures throughout the season. I think I'm gonna go ahead at some point really soon and cut some of these Annabelles because it will make an absolutely gorgeous bouquet. And we got honeybee. I've already been stung once, y'all, with the, hang on, she's chasing me. All right, I think I lost her. I tell you what, they're getting a little territorial down there. I'm wondering if something's going on, but I've already been stung by fire ants today. I'm not gonna get stung by a honeybee. She's chased me a couple of times now, so I'm wondering if somebody's messing with their hive because normally they are very docile. On that note, I'm gonna leave and wrap this up before I get stung by a honeybee because fire ants are enough for this girl for one day. As always, y'all have a great day. See you in the next video. Hopefully I'll make it home safely. See y'all, bye.